There are great career opportunities in human resources. Now I know HR can have a pencil-pushing reputation, making sure that job applications are completely filled out, making sure that benefit enrollment forms or performance appraisal forms are filled out. But as we saw in a video at the outset of this course, this isn't really HR at its best. Rather, HR is important. HR should be strategic, and when done well, HR can be energizing. As we've seen in this course, managing people is very complex, and so businesses need driven, smart, educated individuals to help them with the very difficult people aspects of their business problems. There are two career paths in human resources. There's generalist and specialist trajectories. HR specialists are typically things like a recruiting specialist, a compensation analyst, a trainer, maybe somebody who specializes in labor relations, whereas HR generalists support employee groups, managers, others in the business on a day-to-day basis. So how can you learn more? Well, you can complete the rest of this specialization, of course, and I hope you will. Beyond that, local colleges and universities might offer short continuing education conferences and courses. There are local chapters of Society for Human Resource Management in this country, similar organizations in other countries that typically have local professional development meetings, have regional conferences, have national conferences, so you can network and learn more about human resources in that way. There are also undergraduate degree programs at some colleges and universities, and for those who are really serious about a leadership career in human resources, there are master's degrees in the field. The University of Minnesota's master's degree here at the Carlson School has been educating HR professionals since 1953, and we have thousands of successful alumni in thriving, vibrant careers. We continue to have strong recruiting relationships with companies like Microsoft, General Mills, Ford, Chevron, other leading national and international companies, and placement opportunities continue to be very, very strong. And what about additional career advice? Well, you've seen throughout this course that I've interviewed some HR professionals. As part of those interviews, I've asked them what advice they might have for individuals interested in a career in HR. So I'll finish this video by sharing some of their responses with you.
If you're considering a career in HR, I would make sure that you talk to a bunch of people doing different types of things in HR because it's not one thing. And to consider that you're a business person first with an expertise in an area or several areas of HR second.
Be up for a lot of variety, and don't think we do all the happy things in the company because we have to do some things that are very hard work.
Intertwine business experience with your HR experience early in your career so you have a better understanding of the business right up front.
I think just keep your eyes open, realize you don't know enough, and learn as much as possible. I am just learning so much every single day and assuming that I don't really know the answer.
If you're interested in a career in human resources, I would suggest that you really think through, do you love working with people? A lot of us say and think we do, but in human resources, you're dealing with broad organizational issues. You need to be able to think broadly, and you also need to be able to parse out the reality from the fiction. Everybody has a different view.
Run away. No. Be sure to get a solid education in human resources management with an emphasis in business, because dealing in human resources in a business setting requires you to sit at the table and understand the business as well.
My number one piece of advice that I give someone going into HR is to remember that you're not only a people person, but you're actually a business person. And so the art of being a really effective HR person is always remembering how do you bring that human focus, that human touch, that organization focus, that organization touch, but bring that to bear for success of the business. And those things cannot operate separately. They actually absolutely have to operate together, and that's our role, particularly as HR people in a corporation.
I would say have fun with it and keep an open mind. You may be someone in the HR discipline that feels pretty predisposed to compensation or labor or market analytics or some narrow aspect, learning and development, and that's important. It absolutely is. But particularly when you're growing your career, keep a very open mind to learning how you apply all the concepts and the theories that you've learned about across the HR space.
If there's one thing I could do over in my HR career, it's to take more risks and to realize that you can lead and not know all of the answers and go out on a limb from time to time.
Oh goodness, if I could do one thing over in my HR career, I would probably have engaged in my academic learning around the discipline before I actually started to be as deeply involved in the work as I was. I chose purposely to postpone the theory and the academics around human resources, and I think it had huge advantage, so I don't say that's a bad thing. I might have just done it a little sooner.
You know, if I could do one thing over in my career, I spent it all domestically, and if I had it to do all over again, I would have really found a way to work in a foreign market.
If I could do one thing over in my HR career, it would be to learn the business first, then learn about the people aspects. If you can't portray the work of HR in terms of how the business is being driven or the success of the business, nobody will listen to you.
If I could do something over in my HR career, I might have spent a little bit more time in a business role. So at one point in my career, I moved to a business audit role and learned a lot about business. But I think many HR people that are very successful partners have been in the business roles.
I think if I could do it all over again, I would have gotten into human resources earlier. I started my career in operations in a business sense, but which gave me a great background and a great language to deal with my colleagues, but I could have started earlier.
If I could do one thing over in my HR career, I would absolutely not spend any time being stressed out or question if I had enough business expertise to actually be at the table. What I realized a lot later in my career is that I was bringing great expertise, but I was bringing people expertise, organization expertise, and that is business, and that is essential to our business.